20 vocabulary words that could be useful for the IELTS exam Part 1. 1. Abstruse, adjective. Meaning, not known or understood by many people. Examples, an abstruse philosophical essay. His work was abstruse and impenetrable, his demeanor reserved, and his resistance to using the bully pulpit to comment on current economic events unprecedented. Even the direction of abstruse developments in pure mathematics may be conditioned, if not fixed, by current extra-scientific, economic requirements. 2. Acrimonious, adjective. Meaning, full of anger, arguments, and bad feeling. Examples, an acrimonious dispute. Their marriage ended 8 years ago in an acrimonious divorce. The negotiations over reform of the international monetary system were prolonged and acrimonious. 3. Adumbrate, verb. Meaning, to give only the main facts and not the details about something, especially something that will happen in the future. Examples, the project's objectives were adumbrated in the report. And so you got the majority in 1951, and without any real constructive political policy ever having been adumbrated in advance. 4. Adventitious, adjective. Meaning, not expected or planned. Examples, an adventitious event or situation. We also showed that the adventitious profits of the oil companies had been inadequately taxed. 5. Affable, adjective. Meaning, friendly and easy to talk to. Examples, he struck me as an affable sort of a man. She was quite affable at the meeting. I remember the many affable and agreeable speeches he used to make in opposition. 6. Amalgamate, verb. Meaning, to join or unite to form a larger organization or group, or to make separate organizations. Examples, the electricians' union is planning to amalgamate with the technicians' union. The different offices will be amalgamated as into employment advice centers. For this reason it was decided to adopt an amalgamating approach in the hope of uncovering variation from several genetic systems. 7. Ameliorate, verb. Meaning, to make a bad or unpleasant situation better. Examples, foreign aid is badly needed to ameliorate the effects of the drought. In this example, the vertical axis represents support for farmers while the horizontal axis indicates concern with ameliorating the environmental impact of farming. 8. Anomalous, adjective. Meaning, different from what is usual, or not in agreement with something else and therefore not satisfactory. Examples, in a multicultural society is it not anomalous to have a blasphemy law that only protects one religious faith? The experiment yielded anomalous results. You can't account in advance for anomalous events that could ruin your plans, like weather. 9. Antithetical, adjective. Meaning, exactly the opposite of someone or something or of each other. Examples, the idea that science is antithetical to the arts is wrong. Birth and death are antithetical. In her view, elite sports are actually antithetical to healthy living. 10. Apparition, noun. Meaning, the spirit of a dead person appearing in a form that can be seen. Examples, this protected villagers from evil spirits and apparitions attempting to enter the town. The purpose is to reveal and study the possible apparition of an enantiomeric excess on amino acids formed in such experiments. It was but an apparition, which faded away after having created an illusion. 11. Approbation, noun. Meaning, approval or agreement, often given by an official group. Examples, the Council has finally indicated its approbation of the plans. It is just an accepted premise that is part of political and fiscal reality, often classified and unknowable and funded with patriotic approbation. Once we eliminate the possibility that approbation can be acquired, we collapse the game to the neoclassical commonplace and, from the collapse, we obtain the canonical result. 12. Archaic, adjective. Meaning, of or belonging to an ancient period in history. Examples, an archaic system of government. An archaic law, rule or language. The Olympics united the fiercely independent city-states that characterized Greece in the archaic age. They discovered hitherto unknown texts and archaic scripts. 13. Ascetic, adjective and noun. Meaning, avoiding physical pleasures and living a simple life, often for religious reasons. Examples, they live a very ascetic life. He lived as an ascetic. 14. Assiduous, adjective. Meaning, showing hard work, care, and attention to detail. Examples, an assiduous student. Assiduous research or efforts. The government has been assiduous in the fight against inflation. Measured against his work-shy ways, she is assiduous and industrious. Against his seeming juvenility, she is mature and dependable. Against his profligate drinking, she is sober and stable. 15. Auspicious, adjective. Meaning, suggesting a positive and successful future. Examples, they won their first match of the season 5-1, which was an auspicious start or beginning. Our first meeting was not auspicious, we had a huge argument. Following its auspicious start, medieval music retained pride of place in 20th century musicology. 16. Banal, adjective. Meaning, boring, ordinary, and not original. Examples, he just sat there making banal remarks all evening. Is the banal barking of dogs enough to make me change my mind? Teachers therefore follow the banal traditional teaching method without considering developing the student's communicative competence. 17. Beguile, verb. Meaning, to persuade, attract, or interest someone, sometimes in order to deceive them. Examples, he was completely beguiled by her beauty. The salesman beguiled him into buying a car he didn't want. Again and again the telescope had beguiled its untrained users with mirages and deceptions. 18. Benevolent, adjective. Meaning, kind and helpful. Examples, he was a benevolent old man and wouldn't hurt a fly. He is generally viewed as a benevolent figure in history. We value our relationships with Catholic charities and other benevolent organizations sponsored by the Church. 19. Bucolic, adjective. Meaning, relating to the countryside. Examples, the painting shows a typically bucolic scene with peasants. The poem also nods towards the bucolic realm in its use of the pathetic fallacy, where elements of nature are imbued with feeling. If the heroic narrative largely displaces the bucolic in literary genres of the modern period, the pastoral mode continues to thrive in music. 20. Capricious, adjective. Meaning, changing mood or behavior suddenly and unexpectedly. Examples, he was a cruel and capricious tyrant. A capricious child. It begins in a quite capricious manner, but this becomes increasingly distorted as the music progresses. It is ironic that the new wave of structural proteomics projects have a major bottleneck in the empirical and capricious science of crystal growth.